Right.
We're gonna do a red flag if you don't want them on there at all. So Mr. Better, Rick doesn't want them there.
No flags all the way
No,
around
no,
the yard.
just one
That's what
flag.
they're doing now.
One flag on the red. That's all you need, and they'll stay away. And then they will soft edge the concrete.
Yeah.
See where that blade just went right along there. Just cut that.
How you liking it so far with United? Is it?
Well, I haven't been our yard.
Oh, okay. They're
Liam was just saying that they did a great job on their street.
right, right.
I think they're going to be, they address people with.
Oh, blah.
They found the 15-foot canopy cut
Yeah.
in the last sentence of the service agreement.
Oh.
The very last sentence, like they just wrote the, we'll just add that right in here. So I did find that reading the contract.
But it was supposed to be 20, and then they moved back. Okay.
Canopy, yeah.
Canopy.
10 everywhere else, 15 on the
15,
boat.
got it.
And they
Okay.
worked that in at the very last sentence.
Oh, okay.
But the 3-inch cut is in there.
Okay.
It's still in there.
So I did tell Mr. Fedorchak that you're gonna help me advise to get it just right before we send it back for signature. They'll discuss it today, they'll talk about it. There were a few corrections, but not all corrections.
And the name and address
Right, so that contract will have to be replaced by the new sign.
Is that Russ? Is that Russ on the line?
Me too.
Okay, great.
I know, I saw you.
Tom, oh,
Okay, baby.
Russ is calling into me.
Are you? Oh,
No Russ today. He'll call in. He's traveling. He said he's traveling a lot this month.
so you're back at it. Good job.
so big.
You don't want, yeah.
All right, I got you on the horn here. We haven't started yet, but we're here. Okay, we'll just put you on speaker here.
Okay, board members, if we could do a mic check real quick, one at a time. I'm going to start with Bill.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Bring the mic a little bit closer to your mouth.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
That's wonderful, great, thank you. All right, Dan, which one are you testing first?
Mine.
Okay,
Tested 1, 2.
loud and clear. I'm going to have to shut yours off to test the other one.
Yeah, testing 1, 2.
Okay, thank you, Damon.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, test 1, 2, test 1, 2.
Thank you, Jeff.
Testing, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Very good, thank you very much.
Okay, and we have Tom on.
All right, good.
Can you,
Yes, yeah, I think we're good.
okay.
Kevin,
Yep. Test, test.
all righty, Marie?
Test, test.
Do I have a volunteer? Oh, I'll put it into the mic, never mind.
Yeah, you could be enjoying yourself.
Peanut gallery.
Okay, so I
Okay.
guess we're ready to start? Nope.
No, I need to
One more
test.
mic check, okay.
One more mic test. And again, those of you
Thank you.
who have not been here before, if you come up to speak, you need to speak directly into the mic. Don't do this because you're not going to transmit. You need to be able to hear yourself from the speakers. If you need to adjust the mic up or down, it goes easily on the stand. So for those of you that might be shorter, you can just tilt it down. Those that are taller may need to stoop over a little bit. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so with that, I'll call the meeting to order at 9:32 a.m. And we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tom, can you hear us okay? Tom, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Russ, is he okay? Can he hear us?
Yep, Russ, you got us? Yep, he's here.
Okay, great. So determination of a quorum?
Good morning, board, and Summer Glen. Yes, we have a quorum with 4 board members present and 2 on speakerphone here calling in. And the meeting was noticed in accordance of Florida Statute 720 and the Summer Glen governing documents.
Thank you. So we'll start off next with the resident input on agenda items. And again, I remind everyone, this is, at this time, it's restricted just to agenda items, and you have 3 minutes for your comments. So first up, we have Sue Rodriguez.
And welcome to the new board. Sue Rodriguez, Lot 819. On page 16 of your packet is Exhibit B from United Land Services. And the verbiage for the common area and single-family homes reads as though all these services will now include single-family homes. The cost columns are the only thing actually combined. The maintenance provided is for common area only. This page is also included in the United Land Service contract posted online. We wouldn't want our homeowners to think that these maintenance services will now be provided to single-family homes. United Contract Exhibit A is not in your packet, but it is posted online with a complete contract. And under residential yards, it states lawns will be cut to 3 inches. Many discussions on this cut to be raised to 4 inches, with agreement by the United staff that a 4-inch cut is healthier for St. Augustine grass, but it is not in the contract as such. Also, the last page of the contract posted online has our HOA name and address stated incorrectly. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Barbara Gaynor.
Barbara Gaynor, Lot 1015. Just congratulating the item being put on the agenda of doing the end of the comment service for us. I think that's a wonderful thing to put in so people can at least comment on what they see that maybe somebody else doesn't see that's going on in the community, to have it taken care of. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Tom Ely.
By the way, welcome to the 2 new board members. Glad to see you there, both of you. I want to thank you for permitting me to speak. I am speaking as a resident of Lot 166 concerning agenda item 11K, the golf cart path improvement invoices. Approximately 1.5 years ago, we contracted First Service Residential to be the management company for Summer Glen, which included full oversight of the golf course operations. Since then, we've had 3 golf course managers, lost an estimated $100,000 in revenue from outside groups due to First Service policy changes, no new inventory for sale in the pro shop during the holidays, and most recently, a pile of materials that showed up in our parking lot rumored to cost approximately $60,000, including installation. The last cost of the community has not yet been fully explained to the residents. I hope that today the board, 1, tells us who ordered these supplies. 2, did the board know anything about the order and when? Who within First Service knew about the order and when? The exact amount of the order broken down by materials and installation. Summer Glen cannot continue to pay for lack of oversight for First Services. If these materials were not approved by Summer Glen Board, residents should insist that First Service pay for, at a minimum, the entire cost of the supplies. We should also question if First Service has provided Summer Glen with a team that can properly manage our community. Thank you.
Tom, can you put your phone on mute? We're getting a lot of background noise, so if you can put your phone on mute so that it doesn't come through the sound system. Thank you. Sorry about that. Next up, Carol Steck.
Carol Steck, Lot 1006, in regards to the United Landscaping contract, and I think Sue actually mentioned it in her comments. The resident packet, at least, had no Exhibit A. So we as residents, just looking at the packet, have no idea what actual services are involved. So I would ask that maybe a little more attention be placed on having a complete packet. Thank you.
And David Bray.
David Bray, Lot 473. Welcome back, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. 11J, I'm just curious. There's a contract that was signed in November, and now we're discussing a contract. I'm curious to hear why it's in the packet. 11K, there seems to be some invoices with, well, project with no invoices. I'm wondering, is that included in the cost? It's got invoice numbers, so it shouldn't be no invoices. You could have always got the invoices with an invoice number. I don't see material cost here, and we know there was material involved. And Tom, thank you. I would like to know how the material showed up here, and where's that money going to be? When's that invoice going to show up, and when is that going to be paid, and who ordered, and all that? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so that concludes the resident input. Next up, management update.
Good morning, Board and Summer Glen. First, I'd like to introduce our new head of golf course operations, Brad Edwards. For those who haven't had a chance to meet him, we're very excited he's here. He's got a lot of great experience and already a lot of great ideas, and we're working together closely. So looking forward to some great things as we continue to improve the Summer Glen golf course. So thank you, Brad, for being here, and we'll keep it going. Okay, otherwise, just a quick, brief update on a few things. As you know, the back gate work still is going on. The county is back there tearing up the road. It was a little quiet there this morning. Hasn't seemed to have been really an issue with traffic or problems with that, so that's going nice and smooth. We're checking on that daily. We originally thought they were going to be done tomorrow, and that may still be on track. So we'll check in with them and let the community know if there's any changes to the schedule. But so far, so good back there. We'll be meeting tomorrow with the county to discuss a parcel up by the Burger King area. They're probably wanting to do some changes. We don't know yet. So a few board members and myself will be meeting to discuss that. And next week, we're also going to be meeting with our reserve study company to get the reserve study going and get that renewed. So a lot of projects going on. We just got 3 new air conditioners installed this week, and we had to do some work on the lift station for the restaurant. There's 3 grease traps out there and a lift station that kind of then takes all the material and pushes it out. That had failed, had a bad leak and some other issues. So if you've been seeing a lot of work going on around the restaurant area, that's kind of what's been going on. So thanks, everybody.
Okay, thank you. Next up for President Update, I'm just going to defer my comments till later on till we get to the individual business items, but we will move on to the liaison reports. So I guess start with you, John.
Sure, hang on. I have the minutes from Health and Safety. Health and Safety met November 18th. They're basically they're working very hard on their Health and Safety Expo, which will be held here in the Grand Hall February 2nd. Right now they have approximately 25 to 30 vendors signed up. They will be open to the public this year. They've advertised in Marion Oaks Mirror for December and January. And they were going to advertise, I believe, on the 484 billboard. We had given them permission to do that. They're also working on a SHINE, S-H-I-N-E, presentation on Medicare fraud and abuse. That would be probably in March. They have 3 new potential members that they are going to meet with and vet, I guess. I don't know what they do exactly, but Gary had kind of put that off until after the holidays because people are away. So their next meeting would be December 18th at 3:30, and again, the public is always welcome to attend a committee meeting. That's all.
Okay, thank you. With the changes in the board, I do have the liaison reports for both the Social Committee and Summer Dreams, so I'll provide those updates today. For the Social Committee, there are still tickets available for the upcoming New Year's Eve dinner and dance taking place on Wednesday, December 31st. Tickets are priced at $40 per person and may be purchased every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the RSO. Your tickets include a delicious plated meal at Tavern on the Glen, followed by an evening of entertainment featuring live music from Cool Change Band, dancing, and a variety of appetizers. Be sure to bring your appetite and your dancing shoes for a festive night of celebration. The committee extends its sincere gratitude for the community's continued support throughout the year. They wish everyone happy holidays and a happy new year. Next up is the Summer Dreams Liaison Report. The committee is working diligently behind the scenes to continue bringing residents engaging and entertaining content for the 2026 Summer Dreams Monthly Magazine. They are always seeking fresh ideas and new perspectives. If you have a story, topic, or experience you'd like to share, please feel free to reach out to any committee member. The February issue will highlight and celebrate the couples of Summer Glen in honor of Valentine's Day. Residents are invited to submit a current photo of themselves and their loved one, along with their names and number of years that they have been together. If you do not have a recent photo, the committee would be happy to take one for you. For questions, submissions, or other story ideas, residents may contact Jody Hooley. Thank you very much for the Summer Dreams report. Dan?
The only thing I like to report on is the golf course. I've been riding the golf course. It is in much, much better shape with the overseeding. I see a lot of white carts out there. When I see a white cart, I always approach them, ask them how they enjoying their round, and I'm getting nothing but great reports. And with our new pro on board, I have heard quite a bit of comment about him doing a phenomenal job, talking to everybody, greeting everybody, getting everything arranged. So even the staff is very happy. So welcome aboard, Brad, and I know you'll do a great job.
We'll have Russ for the Facilities and Grounds.
Russ, you are up, sir.
Okay, we're working on numerous projects at the currently, and in the January meeting, I'll have a complete and full update, and probably some more CRFs as well. So I'm going to defer to January at this point, January meeting, and we'll provide a full report then.
Okay,
Okay, thanks, Russ.
Tom, that brings you up.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me fine?
Yep,
Can you hear me, Jeff?
yep, we're good.
Okay, good. Last Friday was published the October results in the Friday update. Obviously, it wasn't a great month, mainly because, as I said in the previous meeting, we were accruing the approximately $59,000 for the cart path work by Cypress, and we also expensed the $35,000 for the overseeding. Those things were completed in the month of November, and they belonged in the month of November, even though the cart path hasn't been formally approved until hopefully today. But I thought it was the right thing to do to reflect it in November or October, since the work was done. That put us a little bit behind for the month and behind for year to date. But keep in mind that November and December, a lot of these things are spread out over 12 months. And since we've already done some of the work, that we should pick up and do a little bit better in November and December, and hopefully close out the year a little better than what we're showing. Our cash balances are healthy. Obviously, in the end of October and the beginning of November, we collect a lot of annual and seasonal payments. Again, keep in mind that money is needed when we get into June, July, August, and September, the slow months. The arrangement with the banking system is we're earning interest on most of that money that is reflected in both our operating balances and in our reserve balances. In the previous month, I gave the board a schedule of our investments, and most of our investments, which are for reserve items, are earning anywhere from 3.75 to 4.25%, which goes into our reserve funds, which helps shore up those funds. Currently, our reserve balance is approximately $1,980,000, which is a healthy amount going forward. Keep in mind that $35,000 to $40,000 every month gets added to the reserve balances as part of our budget expense. If people have questions, please put a note in my copy. Ask the board. Don't ask next door. It's hard to get correct information by putting questions on next door. My copy is 368. If you have questions, put a note in my copy or give me a call, and I'll be glad to spend the time to the best of my ability to answer any questions you have. So please take advantage of that as opposed to asking next door or one of the other social media avenues. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Tom. Any questions for Tom on the financials? No. Okay. Next up, we have reading and approval of previous meeting minutes. So first up is the November 13th board meeting. The minutes are in the packet.
I'll move we accept the minutes from November 13th, 2025 as written.
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, say no. Motion passes unanimously. Meeting minutes are approved. Next up is the meeting minutes for the December 5th organizational meeting.
I guess I'll move that the minutes for the organizational meeting, Friday, December 5th, 2025, be accepted as written.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say no. Okay, motion passes unanimously. Thank you, board. We don't have anything on the agenda for old business, although there are some items left over from previous board that will probably get on the agenda, if not in January, as soon as possible to clean those up. But at this point, we don't have information for them to put them back on the agenda. So bring us to new business. So first up under new business is the resignation of Steve Alviso. His resignation is in the packet. I'd like to thank Steve for his service to the board, but he's decided to move on and resign from the board effective immediately as of late Monday afternoon. So I guess we can officially accept his resignation. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say no. Okay, so his resignation is effective as of late Monday afternoon. So that brings us to our next order of business is appointment of a new board member to fill the vacancy just created. So
I would like to make a suggestion.
okay,
I'd like to have Bill Rodriguez appointed to this spot. He ran for the board, got over 300 votes. So I would recommend that we have Bill join the board.
so that is a motion, correct?
That is a motion.
Okay.
I'll
So-
second.
Okay, and so seconded by Bill Kohler. So any discussion? As Dan has mentioned, Bill put his name out there as a candidate for the board. There were 3 candidates. I think Bill ended up with 338 votes, I believe it was. So well received by the community as far as receiving number of votes. So I think this is a logical choice to bring Bill on the board and fill out our full complement of 7 board members.
I agree.
Any other discussion?
Jeff, I think it's important to point out that position is for 1 year going forward.
That's correct. It's to fulfill the remaining term of Steve Alviso, who was actually filling the remaining term from Michael Cardillo.
Correct.
So yes, it's that term that Bill will be filling expires at December of 2026.
I don't know, Bill, that might be a poisoned seat. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, maybe third time's a charm. Any other discussion? Okay, so all those in favor of appointing Bill Rodriguez as our 7th board member, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say no. Hearing no opposition, the motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, Bill, and if you would, please come up here and join us. There's a packet sitting there ready for you. Oops. So I think we already did a mic test for you, so.
Yes, but if we could have Bill, please put it on and test again to make sure the mic's
Okay. Yep. You got to turn your, have you turned on?
Bill, on the switch on the top.
You're on the very top there.
Top. Test, test.
Loud and clear, thank you, Bill.
Hopefully, I don't expire by
Hope not.
Well, welcome to the board.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is agenda item 11C, which is confirmation of reinstating the homeowner post-meeting comments. So I have a little introduction to read about this. So while permitting post-meeting homeowner comments are not required by Florida statute or the Summer Glen governing documents, it has been a long-standing past practice for the board to listen to homeowner comments after the board meeting was adjourned. This being the first regular meeting of the new board, this item was placed on today's agenda to make it clear to the community we are committed to reinstituting this past practice effective immediately. After today's board meeting is adjourned, we will open the floor to homeowners' comments. We will welcome those comments with the understanding that there will be some ground rules. Each speaker will be limited to a total of 3 minutes. Each speaker will keep their comments respectful. The board will allow the speaker to speak without interruption. Since the board meeting will already have been adjourned, no decisions will be made by the board during the comments session. There will be no back and forth debate between the speaker and the board. Once each speaker has completed their comments, they should relinquish the floor to the next homeowner and return to their seat or exit the Grand Hall. So with that, I'll open the floor for any other comments from board members concerning this topic.
The only comment that I have is when somebody gets up to speak and maybe at the end of the meeting they're asking a question, why would we not be able to answer the question if possible?
We will. If it's a decision that's already been reached by the board and somebody is asking for clarification on that decision, we can respond to that. But if it's something, a new topic, we're not going to get into a discussion. The meeting is already over. There will be no decisions made at the board.
No, I understand there's no
But yeah,
decision.
if it's just answering a simple question about clarification on something that was just discussed at the meeting or anything else, if it's just a simple answer, then yes,
Okay.
But we're not going to get into hypotheticals
No.
and what if the board, is the board going to do this, is the board going to do that?
Right. I just want
The meeting's already adjourned. We're not
clarification.
going to discuss that. We're not going to make decisions.
Sure. I agree. Thank you.
Anything else from anybody? Tom or Russ? Nothing?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, so with that, next item up is the Marketable Record Title Act, known as MRTA notification. So again, for this, I'll read the statement. So Florida statutes requires HOA boards to consider preserving their covenants at the first regular board meeting each year. If action to preserve the association's covenants is not taken within the 30-year time limit stated, they would expire. Although no action is required at this time, having this item on our agenda serves as a reminder to the board of this future obligation. So we need to get exact clarification. Our original documents were instituted in 1999, and then our Articles of Incorporation was 2000. So we're still at least 3 or 4 years away. So no action is required at this time, but it's important that the board understands there is this future obligation out there that we have to recertify our covenants. Otherwise, they expire, and it creates a whole big nightmare if you don't do it on a timely basis.
Would you suggest then doing that next year, ahead of time?
We should definitely start well in advance. I wouldn't wait till the last minute, that's for sure. So it probably should be done. We'll get confirmation from our attorney exactly when the clock starts. And I have some question about whether it gets reset when we do amendments to documents or whether it goes all the way back to the original instituted date. But right now, it looks like the soonest it would be 2029. So I would suggest we probably start 2 years in advance just to make sure there's no surprises.
Right. And one thing, reading our documents, it's that they've been amended numerous times.
Right.
It's very difficult to follow them as you go through the book.
Right.
It would be nice while we're doing that, is to totally clean them up and
Yeah, that's,
not have all these sections crossed out.
yeah, that's why it's important that you start that well in advance so we can
Correct.
clean all that up and,
Because that will take some time.
right. So again, there's no action that's required by the board other than the fact that it was on our agenda at our first regularly scheduled board meeting, so we've met the Florida statute requirement. Make sure the board is aware of this requirement. Okay, next up is we have selection of board liaison assignments. So again, with the resignation of Steve Alviso, we had done some preliminary work leading up to this. With Steve's resignation, it's kind of changed things a little bit. So I'll just open the floor for any comments right now as far as, everybody good with proceeding with this?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let me go through the liaison positions. So we'll start off with liaison to property management. Even though it's not a committee, we do have a liaison to property management that's typically been filled by the board president or their appointee. Last year it was Raymond as president, so I will, as the new president, I will take on that role as the property management liaison. Next up, we have Finance Committee. So in 2025, Tom was the liaison to the Finance Committee. So anybody want to make a nomination for?
Keep Tom as finance liaison if possible.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Tom, do you accept that nomination?
Yeah, yes, no problem.
Okay. So all those in favor of Tom as the Finance Committee liaison signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say no. Hearing no opposition, it's unanimous. Tom will be our Finance Committee chairperson.
Not chairperson.
Or, I'm sorry.
Liaison.
Liaison, not chairperson. Jeez. My apologies. Whoops. Okay. Next up is Facilities and Grounds. In 2025, Russ served in that role. I'd like to hear any nominations for 2026.
Is Russ still interested in keeping it?
Yes.
I nominate Russ.
Okay.
A second.
Okay. Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor of having Russ as the liaison for Facilities and Grounds signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, next on my list is the Design Review Board. Lynn served in 2025 for that position. As it's email that was circulating, Bill had said he would be interested in serving in that role. Bill Kohler, I'm sorry, we got two Bills. Bill Kohler.
Bill K.
So anybody want to make a nomination?
I'll nominate Bill Kohler for liaison to DRB.
Okay.
He volunteered.
You want to second it?
Yeah.
Yes.
You accept?
Yes.
So,
I'll second that.
okay, been second. Are there any other nominations? If not, I guess we really don't need to go through the formality vote. Congratulations, Bill.
Good job, Bill.
Okay, next up is Health and Safety. John served that in 2025. You'd express an interest in
Yeah, I
continuing.
can continue, or if somebody else
So
is
if
interested.
somebody would like to make a nomination?
Nominate,
That guy. John.
he likes it, he wants it, we'll give it to him.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay. So, are there any other
Congratulations, John.
nominations? Hearing none, congratulations, John.
Thank
It is
you.
all yours. Next up, Summer Dreams Committee. Last year, Lynn served on that. John has expressed an interest in serving.
Well, I would if nobody else wants to
Yeah.
step up, I don't have a problem.
So is there anybody else interested in that role? Okay, hearing none. So do a formal nomination and seconding.
Nominate John.
Okay, seconds.
Second.
Okay. So it's all yours, John.
Okay.
Let's see. Next up is CERT, our Community Emergency Response Team. Last year, as board president, Raymond served in that role. I would like to take over that responsibility as the new board president. So I've expressed an interest in that. Is there anybody else that would be interested in the CERT position? No? So,
I'll nominate Jeff to be our CERT liaison.
I will second that.
okay, so. Hearing, since there's no other nominees, so I'll take over that responsibility.
My apologies. Who seconded that?
I did.
You did. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez.
Okay, so we also have an election committee, but according to our documents, none of the board members can serve in that role. So in 2025, as CAM and under property management, Marie served in that role. Would you be interested in continuing in that position?
Yes, sir, I would. And the committee, everyone on the committee is interested in remaining,
Okay.
if that is acceptable by the board.
Great.
Okay. All right, so we'll just go ahead and keep Marie in that position. And let's see, I know I got one more here. I skipped over it. Where is it?
Social.
Social, yeah, sorry, I missed that one. So last year, Steve served in that role once he took over as a board member. Is there anyone interested in serving in that position as social committee liaison?
Total silence. Tom has birds.
Go ahead.
I'll take it.
Thank you, Bill. So Bill, hearing no other volunteers stepping forward, will grant you that role. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Okay, so that wraps up all the committee positions.
Jeff?
Yes.
There is another committee that was reactivated last year, but has been essentially dormant since its reactivation, which, well, covenants or whatever it's been called. You know, I think there should be some impetus for them to go forward and become active and start to work on the tasks that the concept was designed for them to fulfill. I would be happy to participate in that if it makes sense.
I'm sorry.
What committee, sir?
This is the covenant enforcement.
Covenant enforcement.
So, again, no board member can serve on that committee, but does this fall under the same category as election committee where we really can't have a board liaison also, or?
Sure.
I'm not sure. We better look that, really make sure.
And they only meet for an appeal process, I believe.
Yes, they're not doing any inspections or covenant enforcement work. The role of that group is once enforcement action has been taken and the homeowner chooses to appeal, it goes to the covenant enforcement committee to decide whether whatever action was taken was in line with our governing documents.
So they may or may not even meet any any particular year?
Well, we will be scheduling to start in January, and it also has to do with hearing and fining. And we have some properties that do require some fining because of the lack of covenant enforcement after multiple letters and communication. And so that is part of their responsibility. So we do have probably about 5 properties, but it will be done after the board meets in January. There will be a listing that comes to the board, and the board will look and say, is this appropriate to go to hearing and fining? If it is, then it goes to hearing and fining does impose or not impose, depending on their opinion.
Okay.
I'm not sure that's correct.
Yeah, we do. It's in our
Procedure.
document. So it's in our governing documents. It's listed. The fining schedule is listed. It's listing how it goes. So after, I think it's the 3rd letter, if there is no response and no compliance at the 3rd letter, then the issue can go to hearing and fining for fining.
Okay. So I guess to Bill's point, what I would suggest is, number one, we need to make sure there's been some changes in Florida statutes. So let's first review it to make sure our current governing documents are in line with Florida statutes. And Bill, if you'd be willing to
Sure.
be part of that investigation, we'll have to go through our attorney to make sure the language that's in our bylaws is updated to the current Florida statutes. And then if a liaison is appropriate, then we can vote on the liaison position at the January board meeting.
My initial looking at this, it looks like it's a no.
Okay.
For this committee. Liaisons can be on other committees, but from what I'm learning right now, it looks like that's a no for a covenant enforcement committee. But
That's what I would have thought, but
It's a peer review that then is enforced by our documents. But the decision is made by owners in the community. They cannot be on multiple and certain committees that are conflicted.
right. So again, as we just discussed, what I'd suggest is for Bill to be the board representative to work with you, so the board is kept up to date what's going on, and then work through our attorney to make sure our documents are correct and up to date before we take any action concerning fining or anything. Thanks, Bill.
Thanks.
Okay, next up on the agenda, item F is board representative for restaurant, and then right behind that is board representative for golf operations. I'm just going to read a little introduction to both of those topics before we start any discussion. Our establishing committee's policy defines and uses the word board representative or liaison kind of interchangeably, and it describes the role as follows. The board representative is to assist the committee to work together while facilitating the flow of information to and from the board. The representative is not intended to be a committee member, but shall attend meetings in an advisory role. So with that in mind, if the board does decide to move forward and establish a board representative to the restaurant and/or golf operations, the representative's role would be the same as the liaison's role with our standing committees. Their role would not include any form of management or control authority. They would not be authorized to make any decisions on behalf of the full board. So with that, I'll open the floor for discussion about the first one, the board representative for the restaurant. When Tuscany was our tenant, we did have a board representative / liaison that sat in on meetings with Tuscany. Originally, that was Tom, and then the following year, Michael Cardillo did that, and then last year, without a restaurant, the role was not necessary, and then with Tavern coming on board, last year's board decided to not have board representation in any of the meetings or to have an official liaison or representative. That role was 100% under Kevin's responsibility. So the question is, do we want to have a board representative for restaurant?
I would recommend that we do, for the simple reason we have somebody on the board that has a lot of experience with the restaurant. Working with Kevin, I think it would be a good idea. If management is okay with it, I think it's a position that needs to be filled.
I agree with that, Dan.
I guess I'm on the opposite side of that fence. I remember sitting in the audience when First Service was selected to manage the community, and it was expressly stated that they had extensive experience with restaurant management and golf management. I'm worried that this person could get kind of pulled into the middle of some conflicts. I know there's some conflicts out there still with the lease agreement, and I believe that First Service needs to work through those with the entire board involved with that, with the lease issues. I'm not sure putting, and I know who has our restaurant experience, and this is not a slight to Bill Kay, but I feel he could be put in a difficult position, and I wouldn't want that on him day one. And that's, so I like what you wrote, Jeff. I just don't think I can support it at this time. I'd like to see how things work out moving forward.
Yeah, I can talk from experience. When I was the liaison in the beginning to Tuscany, and then Mike Cordillo took it over, it didn't really work well. Part of the problem is the restaurant group or people tend to go to the liaison and negotiate privately, and then the communication falls apart. And that's a tough area to control. It didn't work well in the past, I can tell you that. We have to find a way, First Service should be responsible. They need to have the main communication. Any board person involved should listen only and not get pulled into being forced to make commitments. Because what happened in the past, at least with Tuscany, I talked to the board guy and he said it's okay. That doesn't work well at all. Never has. And I have a feeling that would happen again. So we got to keep the communication controlled. And I'm not sure how the best way to do that. But I know it's an issue.
Again, what my feeling is, there are some problems with the restaurant contracts. If Bill worked with Kevin and try to get these straightened out with the experience that he has, he's not going to have any going in and telling John how to run it. It would be between Bill and Kevin to come up with some ideas. With his experience, I think it would be a plus. So that's why I nominated him for that position.
Okay.
Take a vote.
Well, I want to make some comments myself. So with this position, Kevin is still the primary point of contact to the restaurant. As property management, that's their responsibility to manage our contracts. So any contact with the restaurant should go through Kevin. If we do appoint a board representative, that board representative is there to be the eyes and ears for the board members. So when Kevin has a meeting with Tavern at the Glen, there's a board member present, so we don't get into this he said, she said. There is board representation there that hears what's actually going on and can report back to all the board members. As I said in my opening comments, that person will have no authority to take any action, make any decisions on behalf of the board. They're just to report back to the board, this is what was discussed, and whether or not there will be eventually some action that needs to be taken by the board. But I think it's prudent for us to have board representation sitting in on significant meetings. Doesn't have to be there for every single meeting, every conversation with them, but anything that's of significance, that's contract related, that may impact operations and so on, there should be, I truly believe there should be a board representative sitting there listening in so they can report back to the board on this topic. So, just my thoughts.
I'd like to comment, Kevin.
Yeah, go ahead, Russ.
Okay, I'm in agreement with that, Jeff, and I think it's important that we have someone there to keep the pulse of what's happening, because there is ultimately, some financial, drawbacks, obviously, to not having a restaurant, and we've been down that road a lot. So I think it's just important that we have someone there to keep the pulse of what's happening and report back to the rest of the board, so things don't get missed.
Okay. Any other comments? So if not, someone would like to make a motion on this topic?
I'll make a motion that we do have a representative to the restaurant, a board member.
Second?
Okay. So it's been seconded. We've already had discussion. I'll just, one more chance if there's any other comments that people would like to make. Otherwise,
I will support it, but I will tell you that I'm hesitant to think that it will actually help us. I almost think it will be confusing at times, but I will support it.
Okay. All right, motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say no. Okay, hearing no opposition, the motion passes unanimously.
Congratulations.
We will create a board representative position. Like to get everybody's thoughts. Since this is a newly created position, we haven't really had a chance to talk to amongst ourselves as board members. So I would suggest that we delay officially voting on the actual representative till we have a chance to discuss this in more detail ourselves. So, any other comments concerning that, or do you want to proceed immediately with appointing someone?
Well, unless somebody else is interested in running it, Bill's the only one with the background, and he is interested in doing it. So why would you choose? Why put it off? My opinion.
Any other thoughts? Well, okay, so if you want to make a motion, then go ahead and make a motion.
I make a motion that Bill has that job as the representative to the restaurant with Kevin. Second?
Looking for a second?
Second.
Okay,
Gives a right.
so any other nominations for that position? Okay, if not, then Bill, you will be our representative to the restaurant with the understanding that, you're there to facilitate communication to and from the board. And if, you get the restaurant trying to get answers out of you, you just refer them to Kevin.
No problem.
Okay, next up then is the board representative for golf operations. Same situation. We used to have a golf committee. The liaison position was eliminated for the golf committee, but when there are meetings that are taking place with property management, golf operations, Brad, and Cypress from a golf maintenance standpoint, the thought is to have a board member to be a representative to sit in on those significant meetings so that they can communicate to and from the board concerning what's going on in those meetings. So does anybody want to make a motion?
I make a motion that we do have a representative and possibly two. I know Russ has been doing quite a bit of work with the golf committee, or with Brad and Pat. I would like to help him with that position. if possible, if the rest of the board agrees with that, but I definitely think we need a representative. And again, the same ground rules that you had laid. Brad, our pro, our Pat, our superintendent, they know what they're doing. All we want to do is be able to communicate from them what they're doing to the board, not telling them what to do or how to do it. These people that we have on board now are more than qualified to run this golf course, as you can see. And Brad only being here since December 1 has made a big impression with the members. I think he's working hand in hand with Pat. So that would be my suggestion, that we do that, if the rest of the board thinks that's okay.
So your motion is to go ahead with
My
having a
suggestion-
board
my motion-
representative.
My suggestion right now is a suggestion. I want to see what the rest of the board thinks. I didn't make a motion.
Okay. I guess I'll jump in. I think it needs to be just one person. Now, it doesn't mean that we can't have other, we can have up to 3 board members present without creating a quorum. So I think it should be just one designated representative. If other board members are available and they can sit in, as long as we don't have more than 3 board members. But I think it needs to be just one representative designated,
Then
rather
I'll
than
make-
having multiple.
I'll change my, I'll recommend, I make a motion that Russ is the representative, the liaison to the golf course.
Golf operations. One thing we are
Well-
missing, Jeff.
Well, hang on.
I'm sorry.
Need a second on that.
Okay, I'll second that.
Okay.
One thing I wanted to go into, one thing we are missing, and Russ could help us with that. We had required a monthly report from Cyprus. And agreed, Dan, there's no argument. Our eyes tell us what's going on the golf course, but we did want that report card, and we haven't been getting it. And going forward, I think we should get a monthly report from Brad, as far as what he sees as good and what he sees as the ugly. So, because we need to increase the revenue. The homeowners cannot support this golf course at the loss that is out there on the books right now. So, moving forward, I think the board in the past, with the investment we made so far, is turning out well. But we do need some reports, and I think Russ can provide that for us.
All right. I would like to nominate Bill Rodriguez for this position.
I would be fine with me.
Does anybody care to second that motion?
One second.
A second.
Seconded by Bill Kohler. Okay, so we have 2 nominations. Sorry, Russ, we didn't verify that you are accepting nomination as well?
Yes.
Okay, so we have 2 nominations accepted and seconded. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none. How do we want to do this? I guess let's do a roll call vote. Be easier rather than everybody's talking over each other. So we'll start down this end.
I would support Russ.
Okay, 1 vote for Russ.
You want to go to Tom? He's next.
Yeah, Tom? Tom, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so we have 2 nominees, Russ and Bill Rodriguez. We want your vote for which one you would prefer.
At the current time, I would go with Bill Rodriguez.
Okay, thank you. My vote is for Bill.
Russ?
Bill.
I'll abstain.
No, you got to vote.
I'll vote for myself then.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's nomination.
so it's, I'm sorry.
And, Oh, Russ.
Yeah, we need Russ.
Where'd you go, Russ?
Yes, me.
Okay. So the tally is 4 for Bill Rodriguez, 3 for Russ. Okay, so Bill will serve as that role as the representative to the golf operations. Okay, next up is review and approval of the 2026 board meeting calendar. So it's in our packet. One thing we haven't discussed, this calendar shows a lot of Mondays for the workshops for board. I'm not sure where that came from. Historically, we've done them on Thursdays. It kind of keeps things simple, I think, to have both the board meetings and the workshop on Thursday mornings. The second Thursday for the board meeting and second Thursday, or the fourth Thursday for the workshops. So what is other board members' thoughts on keeping Thursdays for both the workshop and the board meeting?
I think it's been working quite well. People are pretty used to those days and the dates. So the only thing that I see on the calendar was 3 things. November the 11th is the Veterans Day Golf Tournament, and that Thursday is the rain date. But you got a board meeting set in there for that. How do you want to handle that timing for those dates?
Oh, you mean November 12th?
Excuse me,
Yeah,
hang on one
the
second. Hey,
12th would be-
Tom, can you put your phone on mute, please? So it's right now, it's a DRB meeting on Wednesday, November 11th.
Yes.
Which is Veterans Day.
Yes.
And then you're saying the rain date is the November 12th.
Well, yes, that's the 2 dates that we normally reserve, just in case it's never been rained out, but,
You almost froze this year.
it was cold. So I don't know if we can keep them 2 dates for the golf tournament as we have in the past. I would appreciate it, if it's okay with the rest of the board.
Well, I think for our calendar, if we leave the 12th, and then as we get close, if we think there's important to reschedule it, if
That's
it's
fine.
starting to look at adverse weather or whatever.
I just wanted to bring it up and
Yeah.
make sure they knew about it. The other date was December the 28th for a workshop. I don't think most people will be around. That's right after Christmas,
Yeah.
December the 28th.
Yeah, I agree. I did put a line through that myself as well.
Yeah, and this year we aren't having a workshop in December.
So we just skip the workshop like we did this year?
Probably. We probably.
Yeah, so, if something were to come up where it's something critical that we have a workshop, but I don't think we should have it on our schedule because most likely we will not be meeting between Christmas and New Year's.
Right.
Yeah, I think it might be prudent on the whole schedule just to have a footnote that says all workshop meeting dates are tentative.
Yeah.
And then that just leaves it to
Correct.
be just kind of an indicator rather than any kind of a
Good
commitment.
idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so first thing then, so everybody's in agreement, we'll keep the workshop meetings on Thursdays as the tentative date. So all these need to be updated to Thursdays. Let's see.
The other thing that's missing is several committees are not included in this schedule. I don't know if that's, I know it's just I won't say the important committees, just F&G, DRB, and Finance, I believe, are the only ones that are showing up here. Yet, the other committees meet on a regular basis.
I didn't see anything in here for cornhole either. They play,
No.
how many days a week do they?
Yeah, I think the intention here was where the Grand Hall is involved, and we want to lock in those dates so nothing else
For
gets
the
scheduled.
board, for the board and
Yeah.
Well, you have health and safety uses the conference room. I noticed conference room is mentioned, and I don't know where, having not met with Summer Dreams yet, I don't know where we meet. And how often, so.
So Again,
Once a month,
I think
so-
there's some more updates we need to do on this, because I see there's a duplicate in April for the DRB meeting. It's listed twice, April 8th.
Yep.
And let's see, what else did I
And
see?
they normally meet twice a month, right, DRB?
Yeah. What's the other one?
So that's a typo.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing was, it shows the annual members meeting as Tuesday, December 10th. Our next item on the agenda is that, and it's really December 1st, not December 10th.
That's right. This needs some refining.
Yeah. So at this point, I don't think we're ready to vote on this because it needs some work done to it. So we'll put this back on the agenda. So we're going to table this. Well, can I have a motion to table this until we get these cleaned up?
I'll make a motion to table it.
Second.
All those in favor of tabling signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say no. All right, motion passes unanimously. We'll get this back on the January 8th board meeting, so get it cleaned up. Okay, next item on the agenda is the annual membership meeting and timeline for the election. So that's in our packet. Any concerns by the dates there? I took a quick look through and everything looked kind of in line. Anybody else notice anything with it?
I didn't see any problems with it either.
Okay, so anybody want to make a motion on this item?
I'll make a motion that we accept those dates.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say no. Okay, motion passes unanimously. We have our annual meeting and board election schedule in place with this document. Okay, next up on our agenda is the United Land Services contract. So as mentioned in the resident comments at the beginning, there is a signed contract out there on the website. However, the contract never went to the board. It was never on a board agenda for a vote. So we really need to have an official board vote on this. Upon reviewing the document, there are several errors that needed to be corrected. The document that's in our packet addressed some of those errors, but not all of them. So I'll highlight the ones that we pointed out. So originally, the signed document that's out on the website said Summer Glen Homeowners Association. The Summer Glen Homeowners Association is a completely separate legal entity. It is not us here in Ocala. It is down in Lakeland, Florida. There's an association in that. So our correct legal name is the Summer Glen Owners Association. So that has been updated in what's in our packet to remove the homeowners and just change it to owners. Also, the service address was listed as the golf clubhouse and restaurant building. It was listed as 1450. It really should be 1474. So that has been updated on the contract that's in our packet. The other update that has been completed, the original contract said that the annual increases would be the greater of the two of either a 3% annual increase or the CPI index, whichever is higher. So it's very skewed one side towards United Landscaping. So Murray got in touch with them and told them it's got to be one or the other. We're not going to do both. And it has been updated to 3%. So we are capped at a 3% increase. I sent the board a note. This year we're running right at 3%. It's trending to about 3.01. Last year was 2.89. And then the previous years were like 5 point something and 7 point something. So this protects us, so it's capped at only 3, and we wouldn't, if inflation goes crazy again, we wouldn't be paying a much higher rate. The fourth item that we had asked about to be corrected or to be changed was in the Section 2 services. It talks about they're not responsible for acts of God and changes, government regulation changes and so on, but they also said they're not responsible for strikes and other labor issues. And we feel that's 100% their responsibility, and therefore we've asked them to strike those few words, the word strikes or other labor issues, to strike that from the contract. And I think they're in agreement with that, they just haven't provided us an updated copy. Okay. As far as the scope of work, there was some mention about specifications in the scope of work that weren't updated as requested, so we're going to need to get those corrected as well. The 3 inches versus 4 inches.
That's correct. If the board would permit, Mrs. Rodriguez was involved in the original procedure for the contract. She would like to be able to help me make sure and get a second pair of eyes on here. And before we have it signed, we'll send it to you as well. But if she could help me with that, that'd be tremendous.
Okay.
I think the height of cut is very important. We had discussed it originally with, when we were reviewing the proposals, we discussed that. And I believe it was in the, when we sent out the request for proposals, I believe the height of cut was in there. So I'm surprised that that's messed up.
There's also that section on Exhibit B
Yeah.
that needs
That's
to be
wrong.
clarified. Yeah, it just needs clarification.
Which I didn't even see that. Thank you, Sue.
Yeah, so I'm telling you, she's got eagle eyes.
Good.
And we know my eyes are,
I didn't catch it.
No,
and
sir.
I read through it with one
Yeah.
eye. I'm sorry.
well, my eyes are as good as yours, so, so I need that extra help sometimes too.
Okay, so we really don't have a document to vote on at this point.
No.
Well, I think that we definitely have a contract. We're just fine tuning the contract
Yeah,
to be.
I mean, because they've been out there working since December 1st.
Right. And we can keep that initial date correct. We just need to fine tune it, and I think they'll be able to do that for us, and we can officially, approve that, fixed contract next month.
Okay, and they're okay with leaving it out there and for the next, until January 8th, I guess it would be? Okay. All right, so I guess we officially need to have a motion to table this item until the January 8th meeting, until we get all the contract language cleaned up.
I'll make a motion to table it.
Second. I'm sorry.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, say no. Okay, hearing no opposition, motion passes unanimously. We need to get this buttoned up January 8th. So let's make sure, even though it's the holidays, let's make sure we get all this finalized and have a nice, clean document ready to be signed for the January 8th meeting.
I would hope that if you go to the Exhibit B, the page that talks about contract maintenance for the common areas and the single-family homes, that I think that verbiage needs to be clearly split. We're under core maintenance, exactly what is to be provided for the single-family homes versus the common areas, so no casual property owner can pick this up and start running with the idea that they're going to get their trees trimmed and shrubs trimmed. So, there should be a specific designation of just exactly what the individual homeowners have.
Yeah, I think Exhibit A has the complete scope of work. And I think where they got themselves in trouble on Exhibit B, they try to restate some of the items and condense it all down. So we need to make sure Exhibit A, B are all the revisions made to them and updated, and then the actual service agreement ready for signature.
We will get it done.
Okay. Okay, next up is the golf cart path improvement invoices. So I'll kind of walk us through. The spreadsheet that's in the packet is a summary of all the expenses that Cypress has alerted the board and property management to as far as expenses associated with the golf cart path improvement project. So there's an initial series of invoices. The Cypress invoice is on the far left-hand side there, 33, 64, 65, 66, 67, so on. So there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 invoices that were issued on August 25th by Cypress. And they did provide the details as far as who the supplier was and whether they had, the receipts that they may have had for purchases at Lowe's or Home Depot, as well as invoices that they had for suppliers that they used for equipment or materials purchased. So those 6 invoices, and then they issued another invoice on September 29th, invoice number 3398, which had originally $30,000, just almost $31,000 worth of expenses, but they only billed us for 26 of those $31,000 worth of expenses, because by that point there had been some discussions with the board and property management about the cost would be held at $59,000, approximately $59,000. It wasn't an exact figure. So if you total up all the invoices that we received, it totaled up to $63,396, of which they actually invoiced us for $59,706. So they were eating the difference between those two numbers, and they also provided invoices for other projects or other services provided. That's the section that says cart path project with no invoices from Cypress. They did provide invoices from the suppliers. You see there's Home Depot there's Smith Personnel, Sunbelt Rentals. All those totaled up to an additional $11,000 of expenses, but they are not invoicing us for any of those. Cypress will not be invoicing us for that. They've agreed to eat that cost. So the bottom line is they've provided expenses totaling $74,527, of which they've actually invoiced us $59,706. So that's where we're at with Cypress. The other portion of this is this whole project kind of got off on the wrong foot. It wasn't officially approved, never went through the proper channels, never had a official not to exceed estimate. There was no quote on what the cost of the project was going to be. Materials start getting delivered, and everybody start, what the heck is this? Why did this just start showing up? So instead of stopping everything immediately, work was allowed to continue, and it continued. The meter kept running, and it just kept accumulating. So that's where we ended up with $74,000 worth of expenses. They've only billed us for the 59. First Service has agreed, and we have it in writing from them, that they will issue credit to us for a total of $12,000 of those expenses, which will show up as a credit in 2026 with $1,000 credit issued for each month in 2026 deducted from the golf management fee that we pay for service each month. So the $59,000 out-of-pocket cost would get reduced down to $47,000 of expenses associated with the HOA would be responsible for. Now, there's still some questions I have concerning some of the invoices. One of them is already on the sheet. It's highlighted. It was a duplicate invoice for some temporary labor that was just over $1,000 with temporary labor costs that we were double invoiced for, so that needs to come off. And their very first invoice for equipment rental is actually for equipment rental that took place in the month of July. So that was long before the project to do the cart paths even started. So this has really nothing to do with the cart path project, so we need to have a discussion with Cypress as far as it's about $5,100 worth of invoices that it would appear have nothing to do with the cart path project, and it's questionable whether it's legitimate to be us to be invoiced on it. So I would suggest today what we approve is a not to exceed number with the understanding that that number could go lower. It certainly won't go any higher, but it could go lower based on discussions we have about some of these invoices that may not be appropriately charged to us. So a lot of background information, so I'll open up the board for any questions you may have concerning this whole spreadsheet and what's happened.
The forklift rental, Jeff, you make a valid point. Kevin, do you have any clue as to why that says July?
Yeah, that one is, I've already spoke with them yesterday, they're removing that one, so I'm gonna check on these other two, but definitely that first one there, they agree, that's.
Yeah,
that was
there's
not really-
forklift rentals for July 3rd through 7th, July 11th through 14th, and July 25th through August 7th. So all three of those invoices are questionable, and we need to get resolution on that before we cut any checks.
Okay, so that's like $5,000.
Right.
5,100.
I can tell you, I have a problem with the way they're billing us. We've had several discussions. As a matter of fact, way in the beginning, when this project got started, John, Raymond, myself, and Kevin had a meeting with Scott, and it was 55 to 60. And nothing else was mentioned. Then all of a sudden it was 74, but we'll take 59. Now all of a sudden there's a number of 59,700, and there's other items floating through. They have to follow the contract, and they've got to get approval for things that are addition before they do the work, not after.
Agreed. And, we had a meeting yesterday, Kevin. We had the weekly property management meeting. Bill Kohler was there. Tom, you were there. And, Cypress has been, read the riot act, put on notice, whatever you want to call it, that this is never to be repeated again. This is totally unacceptable. This is not proper business practices, that these type of expenditures have to be approved by the board at a formal board vote, that they are not to just go out based on comments made by employees, residents, committee members, whatever. It has to be board approval. So, again, the 74,000 is, like I said, there was $11,000 worth of invoices, that work that they needed to do to truly complete the project rather than leaving it in a partial state. And what they've invoiced us for is 74,000. Again, to be determined whether all those are valid or not. But the 59,706 would be the maximum number. And again, I think it's actually will end up being less than that. But until we complete that negotiations, what I'm recommending is we have a motion for a not to exceed number, and then we'll complete negotiations before we cut any check at all to make sure we're only billing for things that are appropriate. But again, the work was not stopped. When the materials were first delivered, there should have been a hard stop immediately. And instead, work was permitted to continue, and the meter kept running, which ended up racking the number up higher than what was originally proposed to John Harbison. The number that was presented to John Harbison was it was going to be in the $55,000 to $60,000 range. So we are where we are, can't go back and change what's happened, but we need to deal with this and get this completed. It's going to hit our expenses in 2025. We need to make sure we're being billed appropriately before we cut any checks, though.
So you're looking for a motion on a not to exceed. Would you agree that we would not exceed the 59,706?
Absolutely. I'm very high level of confidence it'll be lower than that number, but I will
make that motion at this time, because we do need to clean this up.
Yeah.
Not to exceed 59,706.
I will second that.
Okay. Any discussion?
I think there's a little bit of perspective, and you having been involved in this at 30,000 feet, just as a property owner, and seeing what's been done in the golf course, despite the ugly nature of how this whole thing has transpired, the very bottom line, even without any further discounts from Cyprus, I think Summer Glen really received certainly good value for the ultimate $48,000 round number ultimate bottom line. So despite the ugly nature of how it all transpired, in the end, I think the association is ending up okay in this. Not to recommend ever to do it again, but the ultimate result, I think, has been a good one out there.
Yeah, and hopefully it translates into more daily play and, will pay for itself in the long run. Any other discussion? Otherwise, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say no. Okay, motion passes unanimously. Okay, next up, we have the Social Committee Birthday Bash. So in our packet is all the information associated with that. I think the total amount is their prediction revenue of $1,000, expenses of $905, a net profit of $95 at the end of the day. So basically break even for the birthday bash. Anybody want to make a motion concerning this?
I'll move we approve the birthday bash.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
I was curious whose birthday it was.
It is. It's open to everyone. You don't have to have a birthday, but it will be on Saturday, January 24th, and we'll be celebrating everybody that has a birthday in 2026, which is the whole community.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, next up is the Social Committee sponsoring the Chili Cook-Off. Let me get the expenses. So they are projecting $200 of revenue. There's going to be some prizes for the participants available, and so total cost is anticipated to be $115. So the net profit from it will be $85 projected. So this will be a chili cook-off, which will be, where's the date on this?
February 2nd.
26th of February.
Yeah, Thursday, February 26th, from 1 to 3 p.m. in the RSO. So a motion for approving the chili cook-off?
I make a motion that we approve the chili cook-off.
I'll second.
Was there a second? Bill seconded it? Okay. Bill K. Bill Kohler beat you to it.
Oh, all right.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, say no. Motion passes unanimously. Looking forward to everyone participating in that, all these great chili chefs. And then the third one is a sock hop. So it's scheduled for Saturday, May 16th at 7 p.m. in the Grand Hall. Total estimated revenue of $1,000, total estimated expenses of $975 for a net profit of $25. So motion for approval.
I move we approve the sock hop.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say no. Motion passes unanimously. Okay. Thank you, Social Committee, for putting those events together for us, for the community to enjoy. Next up is Director's Input. We'll start over on your end.
Oh, me first?
Yep, go ahead, John.
All right. I shared with Jeff a couple of pictures of the we'll call it the dirt road / goat path out back. As you go out the back gate, and if you remember, the school contractor, Wharton Smith, widened that considerably to allow the dump trucks to go in there in the beginning to the far gate with the fill. So that road has pushed right up against our fence. I have no idea where the property line is. I assume the fence sits on the property line. I shared with Jeff some pictures. They're starting to drive around the potholes that have been created there. I would like to see Wharton Smith return to one lane there, dig that up against our fence, throw some sod in there to protect our fence. I'm afraid people are driving very close to the telephone poles, power poles. I used to call them telephone poles in New York. Power poles. There's heavy traffic back there. I got to tell you, as the constructions continue, there's heavy traffic coming from 20th, coming from the east. Workers go in and out that way. Homeowners go in and out that way. 50-foot tractor trailers go in and out that way. It's crazy. So I'm concerned that our fence could be damaged in the future if we don't get somewhat of a buffer back there. Originally we had, I don't know, this one picture Jeff shows, what would you say that is, 10 or 15-foot buffer
Right. Yeah.
off of the fence line, which would create that path back to a one lane, which the county, I have talked to the county engineer, and he said that is a right-of-way for 165th Street, and they don't maintain it, but they will not make it go away. So in the short term, that dirt road is going to stay there regardless of what the high school does. And I'm concerned with our fence and a possible, even if somebody hit a pole, I mean, that would create even more trouble. So that's my concern with that. I don't know, Kevin, if you have any input or help?
Not yet, but David is typically back there at the gate, so I was there this morning. I didn't see him there when I was out there around 8-ish. But I'll poke my head back out, and he's responsive, so I will try to get an answer out of him as to what's the plan. Yeah. And Stephen might have something for us tomorrow. Yeah.
So also tomorrow, part of that discussion, the meeting with him is concerning up at the intersection of 20th Avenue Road and 484. There is a project that's in the works. The environmental impact of it has already been reviewed by SwiftMud, and they've approved it. There are plans to expand between our monument sign there, the Summer Glen sign, and Burger King. Right now, there's 3 lanes there. There's 2 outbound lanes going out onto 484, and there's 1 turning lane coming off of 484 back down 20th Avenue. There is a plan to expand that to 4 lanes. So there would be 3 outbound lanes, 1 for making a right-hand turn, 1 for going straight across over towards Wawa, then a left-hand turn lane to go west on 484, and then a new inbound turn lane coming into 20th Avenue, which would be between where the curb is and where our monument sign is. There would be an additional lane of traffic there. So they're here to talk to us tomorrow about what the plan is for that and what the impact would be for us.
If I understand correctly, and I'm pretty sure it's right, I think there was a contractual relationship with the county that provides us a 75-foot buffer back there. And if...
At the back gate, yes.
If they are not respecting that, you know, we have the right to demand that they do it. You don't care about their 165th Street right-of-way. They agreed with Summer Glen to provide a 75-foot buffer, and I think we are totally appropriate to demand that they give it to us and keep the traffic off it.
That 75-foot buffer is even on their public plans that's out there.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, they did a public meeting over in Marion Oaks, and the package clearly shows that as remaining as a 75-foot buffer area.
Which would then eliminate the dirt road.
They'd have to move it.
Right.
They would have to, well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the long-range plan, again, how far out, we don't have definition of, but the 75-foot buffer, and then the south side of the tree line would become the new 165th.
Right. So I think you can be a little aggressive with them.
Unfortunately, Bill, I expressed that to the county engineer, Stephen. I copied the emails to Jeff, and he said that however, they will not maintain this road, but they will not abandon this road. In other words, they will not abandon the right-of-way.
Yeah, so we'll get more details. We'll get more details tomorrow.
I don't know how that's going to shake out.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%.
Okay. Tom, any director input from you?
Yeah, I think we have to push Marion County to be more definitive in what they're planning to do. I mean, if they want a piece of our property and they're going to not make commitments in other areas, you know, I think we need to insist that they be more definitive.
Well, I think that's the purpose of.
To say about that area. The other thing I want to comment on, and going forward into 2026, we need with First Service, both Maria and Kevin, and with the board, we need to have good communication. In the past, we've approved a lot of things after the fact, after the money was spent, or after agreements were signed, and that's not the way we should be operating. We have to do a better job in making sure we're all on the same page. That's all of us, both First Service and the board. We need to be all on the same page, and we have to insist upon that. I mean, it's called accountability, which we've talked about before. We need to make everybody accountable, and that includes First Service. We got to get better communication. I hate to see bills popping up that I have to approve that have not gone through the board, and then we're getting unanimous consents filled out. There's way too much of that. That has to stop going forward. We got to manage our costs better. We got to make sure we're getting value for what we spend. We know we have to spend money on the community. It's an aging community, but we have to be smart, and we have to get value added. And I think we need to focus on that going forward. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Dan?
Yeah, I don't have too much, but I would recommend, Bill, for Cypress and Brad to have a meeting early January and open it up to all golfers. Have them being introduced. Let the golfers know what Cypress would like to do, what kind of plan they're going to have going forward. I just think it's a very good idea, in my opinion, and have a meeting with all golfers that could meet them and go over their plans. So that's the only recommendation I have.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, Dan. Cypress has been here long enough to have figured out you know, where they think they want to go directionally beyond what they've already done, so that if something like, you know, this major project they
Right.
just did ad hoc, if they're thinking about something like that, you know, it can get vetted and talked about and agreed to or amended, you know, long before stuff appears in the parking lot.
But you can have input from the golfers. They know what Cypress is going to do. They know what Brad's got to do.
Yeah.
But I think you and Kevin got to get together, come up with a date that is available for them, and advertise it as early as January as possible. My opinion. That's all I got.
Okay,
No, I don't have that.
nothing, okay. Bill, any? Russ, any director input from you?
Nope.
Okay, so as far as next meeting dates, our next board meeting will be Thursday, January 8th at 9:30 a.m. The next workshop, that should read January 22nd, not January 26th. Again, the fourth Thursday of the month at 9:30 a.m. Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion for adjournment.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? If not, the meeting is adjourned, and now we will open up the floor for homeowner comments.
Barbara Gaynor, Lot 1015. I agree with all the things that you were talking about with what happened with the expansion of the golf, what do they call it, trails. But what about what they did to the parking lot? That parking lot was just resurfaced. It looks like horror show. All the blacktop that they put down, or that erosion that they put down so it wouldn't, how would you say, collapse or get ugly looking, it's a horror show. You go up there, all the white striping that they did is all scraped off. That whole area where they had the dump site, which was never approved, is horrible for people to come up there, going to our restaurant to see this horror show. What about getting that resurfaced? Who's going to be responsible for that payment, since it was never approved to begin with? That's money out of our pocket as a homeowner to make our parking lot and our community look halfway decent. And that really takes away from the beauty of what they're doing on the golf course. Somebody has to be responsible for repairing that mess that's up there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bob Saltzman, Lot 1007. I think I remember how to do this. First of all, welcome to the new board members. I'm grateful that Bill Rodriguez will be the eyes and ears on meetings with FSR and the golf operations manager. I think that's great. I also like John Carpenter's comment on getting similar monthly reporting from our golf operations manager, Brad, as we are supposed to get from Cypress. I wondered if the board has been presented with a plan of actions from FSR / Brad as a metric upon which they could report and be held accountable to. And if not, could you please consider obtaining such a plan from them? On a separate matter, I wish to thank Diane Doan and her team for the beautiful community Christmas and holiday decorations, and especially for putting up a Hanukkah decoration. Thank you very much. And there are many other people in the community have expressed those thanks to me, so thank you. And lastly, I was just wondering if the board is going to continue to answer weekly email question submissions. Thank you.
Thank you.
David Bray, Lot 473. And thank you, Jeff. You answered all the questions that I had concerning my comments before. But except one, there still seems to be what was the cost of the material? Because we heard there's going to be a $12,000 credit issued, but we don't know what the cost of that material was that was dumped in our parking lot that was used for the $59,000 cart path. So I think there needs to be a clarification on that cost. And has that been paid, and where was it paid from? And because we know you said 12,000 was going to cover part of it, but we don't know what the other part was. So thank you.
Okay. So I will answer your question because it was discussed today. So if you look at the board packet, the spreadsheet that has the different invoices on it, if you look at golf agronomic supply, there's several invoices that have that. That details the materials. It talks about command materials, shell screenings, green sand. So it's on the spreadsheet, the material costs.
Carol Steck, Lot 1006. Two items. One, in regards to committees and spending authority. According to our documents and charters, no committee has authority to spend money. As evidence, the board has a very clear procedure for the social committee, which was followed today. Two things have come up recently. One, health and safety placing 2 ads, or 2 months of ads in the Mirror. What was the process for approving the cost of those ads? The other is Summer Dreams. Some time ago, the board approved a contract with Good Time Printing, which basically they don't charge us because they take all the advertising money. Then at some point, the Summer Dream Committee came back and said, well, but we want to do occasional colored pages in there, and we have to pay for those. So the board approved, and it has been part of the budget for a number of years, basically a maximum of $1,200 a year, which gives them the ability to have 2 colored pages for 6 months, because 1 page costs $100. The July version of Summer Dreams had 9 color pages. It was the wildlife. I mean, was it really necessary to do that? That was $900. 20 pictures of sandhill cranes. I mean, I'm sorry, but as a resident, I don't think this is a good use of my money. In addition to that, they had them all printed and put up on the board of the wall of the RSO. I'm not sure what the additional cost for that was. But I think there needs to be some oversight because Summer Dreams far exceeded their $1,200 as far as what was in the budget. The other has to do with the billboard advertising for the golf. I don't know. Personally, I've driven by there I don't know how many times, and I never see the darn thing. So I'm wondering how cost-effective it is and whether the golf pro or Kevin or whoever makes the decisions has considered the idea of maybe just having simple comment cards in the pro shop for anybody. If they're a brand new, this is their first time, you know, how did you hear about us? Just a simple check off. Was it a billboard? Was it Golf Now? Was it print advertising? Was it word of mouth? Let's find out if we're really getting anything for this, because $1,100 a month for something half the people don't see, to me is a waste of money. Thank you.
Sue Rodriguez, Lot 819. I want to comment on the fact that what we used to call have referred to as the buyer flyer, that Noah and Tommy can tell you, working with Noah, this is an idea that we came up with at our committee and had been put together by, I think, Summer Dreams Committee, drew up this trifold. This is now being passed out at the gate. And I don't know if Good Times did the printing. It's lighter weight than had been done before. It's not the slick paper. And is lighter weight, but it's serviceable. I mean, it does the trick. It gives good information on our amenities and everything. And when we talk about selling property in Summer Glen, this is an absolutely excellent piece to be given to the realtors, to be given to anyone coming in, maybe playing golf, who's thinking about buying in here, or people who visit the restaurant from the public who may think about buying in here. This flyer is now just at the gate, but really needs to be at our golf course, needs to be at the restaurant, needs to be distributed at the office window for realtors. This needs to be distributed everywhere we can get it because it's an excellent advertising for Summer Glen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tom Ely, Lot 166. I have one question and one comment. My first question is, you were talking about MRTA coming up in a few years, and it has to do with our covenants. We found out we're doing some things that we need sometimes 2/3 of the majority of the homeowners to get some things passed. Can we change some of those covenants when we relook at these things with MRTA? Is that possible to change some of the covenants? Or do we know?
Yes, yeah. At any time, we don't have to wait for MRTA. At any time, we can change our documents. Depending on what the change is, it may require a 2/3 vote of the community to make the change.
But we require a 2/3 vote to change the requirement of a 2/3 vote.
Exactly.
That's
Yes.
the problem.
Well, that's the state of Florida intentionally set that high bar.
Is that a Florida, or is that ours?
And unless our governing documents say otherwise, yes.
Okay. Would that be a good time to take a look at something like that for change? I mean, that's a question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, we're not going to make decisions at this point in the meeting. The meeting's been adjourned. So.
Understand. Secondly, concerning what Tom had to say about First Service and things being approved that weren't, I feel that $12,000 or $1,000 a month given back to us is a pittance, and I think it's an insult to the people of the community that this was ordered by First Service employees, and First Service should be responsible for all the materials. Thank you.
It's nice to be on this side. Sorry. It's nice to be on this side of the podium. Really is. Raymond Amos, Lot 183, ex-president. Sorry, can I hold this?
Sure.
Thank you. I congratulate you all, honestly, for the time and effort that you're going to be put in. I know I did it last year, so I know how these things can go. A couple of things came up this morning, and I'm quite happy with everything you've done so far. You know, you're doing very well. On something that Bob Saltzman said, I just want to clarify. I know you've introduced us standing at the podium again, but I'd like clarification over what will happen to any emails that are sent to the board. Will these be generally answered and circulated, or will these be just sent to individuals as answers? Because some of the information that's asked is of general interest, some of it is of specific interest. So that's just something of concern. There's been a lot of talk about the golf course improvements, and I thank you, Bill Rodriguez, for supporting that work being done. It was a surprise to us all. You know, it ended up on our doorstep. Yes, we maybe should have put a hard stop on it, but we didn't. We let it go forward. The issue is how it's going to be paid for now. And if you ask Tom, Tom will tell you there are actually 2 accounts where this money is available from the 2025 budget. I don't think that point's been made clear this morning. So it's not extra money we're spending. That money was actually in the 2025 budget. And I think that's all I'm going to say. I just wish you all the best. And my thanks I know he's not here this morning, but my thanks to Stephen for his service on the past board. Thank you very much. I'll conclude.
Thank you. Okay, with that wraps us up.